In addition to the flexibility you have when creating a photo book in Lightroom, you also have flexibility in modifying that book. So if you find something that you'd like to change about a book, you can very easily go back and fine-tune it. I've created a book to showcase some of my colorful photos from California, and I'd like to make some changes to that book. So I'm going to scroll down the left panel in the library module. I had saved my book, which causes the project to be saved as a collection. So I'll go ahead and click my California Color Book Collection. That will bring up the images that are included in that book. I can then click the right arrow button associated with that California Color Book Collection, or I could simply switch to the book module. I'll go ahead and click that button to open up the book. And I've decided there are a couple things that I'd like to change about this book. I'd like to add one more spread to include some additional images, but I'd also like to add some text for the cover. I wasn't even thinking about it at the time when I was adding images to my layout that I probably want some words on the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by adding text to that cover. I'll go ahead and click on the cover itself, the front cover, and then I'm going to scroll up to the caption section. I'll add a caption to the page here, so I'll turn on the page caption option, and then click top to move that caption up to the top. I'll go ahead and click inside that text box, and we'll call this one California Color. I'll go ahead and press Command-A on Macintosh or Control-A on Windows to select that text, and then I can modify the text itself. In this case, I'll go ahead and increase the size of the text. I'll also adjust it so that it aligns to the center, and maybe make it bold so that it stands out a little bit better. Maybe make the text just a little bit smaller. And of course, I could also change the font color. I'll go ahead and click in that text box so that I can see the text. And yes, sure enough, that black text just doesn't stand out very well. I'll go ahead and select the text and then click the pop-up, and I'll go ahead and find a color that I think will work reasonably well. Maybe this sort of shade of orange, but perhaps brightening it up just a little bit. So bringing that into a brighter value, but still maintaining a bit of the color. So somewhere in there I think might work pretty nicely. I also think I need to move that text down just a little bit. So under page caption, I'll slide that offset slider over to the right just to lower the text. I don't want to go too far where it starts to get into the brighter areas, but I think that will work pretty well. I also want to add another spread into this book, so I'll scroll down, and in between the flowers here, I think, after this page, I'll go ahead and insert a page. So I'll scroll up on the right panel, and then I'll click on the Add Page button, and that will give me a new page spread. But I need to access some images that are not included in the current collection. I had selected my California Color collection, and that only includes images that are included in the book, not all of the images. So I'm going to switch to the library module, and then I'll scroll up on the left panel so that I can get to the folder that contains the images I want to use in this particular photo book. And now, switching back to the book itself, you can see that all of those images now are available for this photo book. So now I've added a new page to my layout, but I don't currently have any new images available. And so I'm going to need to add some images to this project. So far, this collection that I'm using, the California Color Collection, only includes the images that are actually included in the book. So I'll switch to the library module, and I'll go back to a folder that contains some images that I would like to include, and I will select two of those images, and then scrolling down on the left panel so that I can see that California Color collection, I'll drag the images into that collection. I'll go ahead and click on that collection then, and go back to the book project, and then I can go back to the page where I want to add those images. You'll see that the new images are now available, so I can click on the carrot image, for example, and drop that into place, and then put the strawberries image into place, adjusting the zoom as needed if I want to zoom in or out. In this case, I think I'd like the image to fill the available space, so I'll zoom in just a little bit. That looks to be pretty good. Scrolling down, you'll see that I still have one blank page. I've got the back page that includes the blurb logo, but I still have one more page that I need to include an image on. You'll notice on the film strip we have the number 1. That indicates the images here have been used once in the book. I'd like to include this wave photo in the book, though. That image has already been used, but it's been used on the cover, and I'd still like to include it inside the book. So I'll add it to that page. Now you can see that that image has been used twice within the book. I'll then go ahead and scroll up to the top of the pages here and click on that cover, so that becomes the active page. And then I'm going to click on the spread view, and I'll simply navigate through the pages here. I'll click the next button to go to the first spread. There we have the inside cover plus the opening spread. I'll click again, and one more time, and we get to the back of the book. Keep in mind, of course, that that back cover is included up at the top so that we can see the entire back cover and front cover spreads all at once. You might notice that I don't have the Save button up at the top right of the preview area here, and that's because I'm working within a saved book project already. I have my California Color book collection, so anytime I want to come back to this particular project and perhaps fine-tune it just a little bit, I can simply access that collection. At this point, though, I think I've modified the book so that I'm happy with it, so I think I'm ready to send it to Blurb to get printed.